Israeli forces have raided the offices of several Palestinian human rights organisations that it previously designated as terrorist organisations. Israel says some of the groups have funnelled donor aid to Palestinian fighters. The organisations deny this. Last year, the Israel army banned the groups, accusing them of funnelling money to an organisation called the Popular Front for the Liberation of Palestine. 9 European nations, including the UK, Germany and France, have criticised the ban. They say Israel hasn't produced evidence to back up its claim. Well, let's bring in Shawan Jabarin. He's the director of the Al-Haq human rights group, which was raided by Israeli forces. He joins me now from Ramallah. Thank you very much for being on the program. First of all, can you explain what happened during the raid on your offices? What exactly was taken?
Look, early morning today, our offices were raided in Ramallah. We heard about that in early morning, from neighbors and from others. They said to us. When we came, we found that the people, they were in the street at that moment, throwing stones on soldiers and just to try to making clash with them when they invaded organizations. They came to the office and they removed the sealed metal, on the door. And we entered the office easily. We found that they broken doors inside the office. Any closed door, they broken it. And they entered, there, just looking at the files and dropping some files, on the floors. That's, what happened. Until today, we assessed which things that we lost there. If they confiscate anything, we haven't found anything yet, which it doesn't mean that they didn't took things. But in other organizations, like the Women Committee, the Palestinian Women Committee, and also BISAN and other organizations, they confiscated everything, the equipment, folders, documents, and even chairs and tables. They left nothing at the organization. They cleaned completely the organizations. They brought big trucks and they took it. I think main aim behind that is another atrocity that the Israeli carried out against the civil society organizations with the aim to silence us and not to let us doing our work, monitoring what's going on, calling for accountability, going after, their criminals, politicians, security, military criminals before the International Criminal Court. That's, I think, what's the main aim. Besides also the issue of now Israel in election campaign, I can say they started their campaign with the receipt that the Palestinians, paid from their blood in Gaza, and also in the West Bank raided the villages, towns, cities, killing people on a daily basis. And part of that also is the civil society, just to show that they are more aggressive than the previous government. And this is for also the campaign. That's, I think, in my point of view. Another message is to the European countries to say you have to stop funding and supporting the organizations, because the European countries, they didn't and they haven't, agreed with the Israelis on their allegations and their informations. They provided to them nothing. That's the case, and they declared, many main and major and leading countries in Europe that they will continue their support to the civil society organizations and mainly to the 6 organizations. That's the case. This is message, I think, also there is another message to the Palestinian side to say that we are the only authority here. We can do everything we want against the people, against the land, against natural resources, against you as an authority, and also against the civil society. That's, I think, the message. Work in human rights is not a joke for us. We do believe this is a faith, this is belief. We will continue doing our work, and we know that the Israelis, they can carry out actions against persons, against us. They can kill, they can arrest, they can do, but they can't stop us doing our work to fight against impunity and the culture of impunity, and to fight for justice and equality and the human rights and the principles of international.
Just on that, how are you able to continue now? Are you still going to be able to operate?
I am working talking. At this moment, I'm speaking to you from the office behind my computer and doing this work. Many calls I received, from many people, from many agencies, from many groups. They said our office is open before you guys. If you need anything, if you need computers, if you need anything, space, offices, we are here, we are ready. Even funding, we are ready to fund you. This is, our people, how they reacted to that. Hundreds of people, they were gathered today at the office, in front of the office, including the PLO executive committee members. The Prime Minister, he came also to the office to show his support, his solidarity, and many other ministers they contacted and they called, even people from outside. After I finished the interview with you, I have a meeting with the head of delegation of EU in Palestine, and also all of the European ambassadors. They will come to the office to meet with us and to show their solidarity, and also other ambassadors from Latin America. This is, how we receive, people.
Thank you so much for your time. That is Shawan Jabarin from Al-Haq Human Rights Group.